So it's day 2 of the new fishing season at Rutland Water. Today I'm going to a place where I know there's fish because after a successful morning yesterday, I went fishing yesterday evening to the place that I was originally planning to fish yesterday morning but changed my mind at the last minute. And I think I made the wrong decision because the point at Dickinson's Bay where I'm going now was absolutely heaving with fish. I've also got the waders on because there's a particular point where I know the fish hold that requires significant wading, so I need to be prepared. The thing I love about this spot is it's another one that's very close to home. I can be there in literally less than 5 minutes. There was also an error in yesterday's video. I mistakenly said the wind was a northwesterly when actually it was a northeasterly. And in both the videos that I've shot at that point, I've got the wind direction wrong. It's a northeasterly for Yellowstone Point, not a northwesterly. Although it does actually fish well in either a northeast or northwest wind, but both the videos that I've shot before were in a northeasterly wind direction. I never checked the wind direction this morning, so I'm actually doing something really silly here because I'm heading to the spot not actually knowing if the wind is correct. And that's one of the first things that you really should do before you do any bank fishing at Rutland Water, is to check the wind direction before you go, because it's often the wind direction that pretty much determines whether or not you are going to catch fish in a particular spot or not. The spot I really want is actually on the point of the old road, and there's nobody in the water at the old road, so I know I can fish there. It's really down to whether there is someone fishing the bank at that particular spot. It was quite unusual actually to see quite so many fishermen down in Dickinson's Bay yesterday, because it's one of these places that seems to have been forgotten about, and for the last few years I have pretty much had that bay to myself for quite a period of time. I very rarely see any other anglers down there. Right, so there's somebody down here at the point I want to fish, but I'll be further along. So, on with the handbrake, in gear, because we're on a hill. Put the parking pass on the car. Sunglasses on. And it's time to get ready to fish. I actually put my waders and gear on before I go fishing now, before I even leave the house, because it gives me a little bit extra time when I get to the venue. Really all I have to do is put my boots on, grab my rod, and I'm ready to go fishing. There's nothing worse than when you get here that somebody is literally just there before you, and because you haven't got kitted up, that they are able to claim the best fishing spot. Well, that isn't going to happen today. The bay is all mine if I want it. The rod I'm using is a Loomis. I've had this rod for over 10 years now. It's an absolutely fabulous rod. It's not cheap. It's a Loomis GLX Distance. These cost around £500 when I bought them. I hate to think how much they cost these days. Probably nearer £700 for a fishing rod, which is crazy when you think about it. But this one has lasted over 10 years, so I think it's fair to say that's, you get what you pay for. Get a bit of extra money and it lasts longer. I'm always terrified about losing my car keys. So I have a ritual where I always store them in the same pocket and also leave them in the same place in the car, so I never lose my car keys. Now the wind has changed a little bit. I think it might be more northerly than northeasterly. Oh, there's two people. Oh, yuck. Two people in the bay. That's not good. This isn't good, there's too many people here. That means the fish are still here, obviously. Morning. They're still here. They're still here then. Well, that's nice to know there are fish here. Now, this is a spot that not many people go to. Now, I've got this really handy piece of kit here that enables me to tie my landing net to my jacket. I'm also going to take some flies with me so that when I'm in the water I don't have to worry about having back out throwing flies, because this is a spot that once you get onto it you don't really want to move. This is quite tricky. There's an old road here that if you can find it, means that you can be about 2 or 3 feet higher in the water than normal. Here it is. You can see it here under the water. It is here. This is the old road. And it's slightly higher than what's around. And it enables me to cast in a spot that no one else will be fishing. I can see the fish in the water here already, so that's good news. They all seem to sit in the same spot here. It's quite a common. I just want to get out enough so I have a back cast. That's probably as far out as I want to be for now. The reservoir's quite high, so not as much wind today as there was yesterday. Now I can actually get into the really deep water here quite easily. I don't really need to throw a very long line here. The fish are usually not that far out. Anyway, my buzzers are out in the water. The nice thing about this point is you can do all sorts of different types of casting, and I can pretty much cover an area all around me. Now, if the fish are here, they should be almost instantaneous takes. Yep, that's it, first cast. I just knew the spot. I knew this was the spot. Get it onto the reel. Now again, these will only be stockfish. These won't be big. But it's more about just knowing the water and the watercraft. I knew exactly where to put that fly. And I was hardly moving it at all. The fish just did all the work, came and grabbed it. I've only got buzzers on, so I now know that they're feeding on buzzers because that's the only thing that I have on the line. I'm going to play this one quite hard because I'm going to let it go, so I want to get it in quite quickly. And the nice thing about having my net strapped to me is that it's not very difficult to find. Now, the great thing about this spot is because I'm the hook has, the fly has come out into the net. So this fish can go back nice and easily. That was rather lucky. Couldn't have been particularly well hooked. Again, I'm using barbless hooks, so that does make it easier for the fish to get rid of the hook. Well, so there we have it. Fish on the very first cast. That's really one of the benefits of living locally. You know which particular spots fish well in which particular conditions. So mission accomplished, to literally know the water well enough to be able to go to a spot and catch a fish on the very first cast. And there's another one out there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a fish a cast here. Stop getting too excited, John.